not joking. All my guys, them know me.
Hello guys, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Melissa Oti, and if you're new on this channel, you know what to do. Please kindly like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell. You guys know we are always bringing it fresh, hot, and juicy on this channel. So you guys, and you just came up last night, I'm like, no way, my people, you people know that I'm your errands girl now. I mean, I said, no way, I have to deliver this message to my people. So you guys, when it comes to UK immigration, especially regarding students, it's a bit not constant, because at the end of the day, they have the interest of their country at heart, and they are putting up measures to aid economic growth. I know sometimes, especially for my last video, I got some really negative remarks about Sola Braverman's proposal, but trust me, at the end of the day, she's not being racist. She has the interest of the UK at heart. That's why she's putting up measures. At the end of the day, they have their statistics, they see these things, they know what the curve is like. So if they want to flatten the curve for the interest of their nation, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You guys, I understand you guys, trust me, but let's just take it easy with these people, right? So you guys, the good news is that Rishi Sunak is proposing increasing the number of hours university students can work from 20 hours to 30 hours, or even cutting it off entirely. Let me just quickly read this out. So Rishi Sunak is risking another cabinet role over foreign students with plans to allow them to work longer hours to help the UK's hailing economy. The Prime Minister is considering plans to allow those who come to Britain's universities from overseas to do more paid work around their studies with more hours and a wider range of jobs on offer. So they are hoping to use students to fill up job vacancies around hospitality and retail. I know they keep saying there are job vacancies, but people are actually struggling to get these jobs. You guys, you can see how dicey it is. Yes, when you go to short occupation list on gov.uk, you will see like long list of vacancies that need to be filled, and yet people are still complaining that they are struggling to get jobs. Well, I think it has to do with the student tax. Some say when they walk up to some companies or some organizations, they tell them that because they are students, they are limited to 20 hours and they do not want people with limited hours. So at the end of the day, I know that the UK is in need of people that can work. So they are saying that currently there are about 9 million inactive people to fill up about 1.3 million empty space, and students are seen as a way of filling up these vacancies, especially in hospitality and retail. No jokes, guys. You see these 9 million people, it is so real. I was even thinking it to be more. I've worked with some persons that just pick one shift a week or twice a week. For twice a week is stressful for them, just once a week, because they want to keep getting benefit. Like they're not out for this stressful life. I mean, what are they using money for? It's not just to travel abroad, go to Spain, France, you know, just travel. Like they don't have worries. Not like us that will think about home, will think about buying a house, think about driving the latest Mercedes car, think about investing. Some of them don't think like that though. As long as they are seeing each day, they have food to eat, they are getting benefits, they are sound. So Rishi Sunak is proposing filling these spaces with students, and in a bid to achieve that, he plans on increasing the working hours from 20 hours to 30 hours, or even to scrap out the limited hours that students have entirely. So it is worth noting that international students made up about 476,000 of the 1.1 million people that came into the UK from June last year to this January. So you can see that international students are actually trooping into the country, and that is because of these 2 years post-work visa. But the major fear right now is Excellency Sola Braverman. We all know that one of Sola Braverman's proposal is to cut down on net immigration to the UK. Like when it comes to immigration, she's all out for it. So they fear that we should soon have to face Sola Braverman, because you guys remember that a few days ago I announced that Sola Braverman is planning on reducing the 2 years post-study visa to 6 months. I mean, all the way from 2 years to 6 months. Before, there was no such thing as post-study visa, and then they noticed that they were losing students. And you guys, trust me, foreign students contribute a whole lot to the economy, whether you believe it or not. Financially, especially financially, they contribute. Do you know how much school fees is? 17,000, 18,000, 15,000 pounds in 1 year. That's a lot of money, and then they still have to pay accommodation fees, pay tax when they work, pay national insurance. Okay, they don't pay council tax, but I mean, no matter how you see, they are contributing a whole lot to the economy. but I guess she's not seeing it in that light. She's just looking at ways to cut down on net immigration to the UK. And one of the motives she brought up in the past was to reduce the number of dependents that international students can bring to the UK. And I mean, I want to believe that they are still battling on that, they are still reviewing that, because nothing has been said. And now, just a few days ago, she announced that she wants to cut down post-study visa from 2 years to 6 months. And you know, this is something new, and now Mr. Sunak is saying that he wants to increase student working hours from 20 hours to 30 hours. So you can see that there's a bit of instability here, and we don't know what's going to happen. But we sure know that at the end of the day, the interest of the UK is definitely going to come number one. So they're going to weigh their options and see which is going to benefit the nation more, which is going to boost the economy more. So in their words, the Home Secretary is likely to be wary of measures that will make visas more attractive to those wanting to come to Britain to work. I'm tempted to say until rest, but no, I'm not going to say that, because to be honest, at the end of the day, she has the interest of a nation, a dear UK at heart. So we are not to judge them. These are the things that we should actually even be doing for our country, Nigeria. This is what our ministers should be doing. To be honest, our ministers are supposed to sit up and just be putting things right. The way you see the way these people are bringing up things just to keep the economy growing, but we're just relaxed. I beg. But in a nutshell, Mr. Sunak is looking for how to remove barriers and, you know, encourage students to work. Another good news is that some universities are happy with this motive. They are happy with this movement, as they see it as an opportunity for students to work and enable them cope with the high cost of living. Because like I mentioned, high cost of living in the UK is real. There was a video I did where I asked people how they are coping with the high cost of living, where they shop and all that. You may want to check that video so you can get like real raw information from people that are living in the UK, because believe me, this cost of living crisis is everywhere. I think it's related to this Russian-Ukraine war. I can't tell, but like everywhere, not just Nigeria, not just the UK, literally everywhere, things are going up. Bills are rising. No, there's just tension everywhere. So in all of this, some chancellors are happy with the movement, as they see it as a way to boost the economy, encourage students to work, help students make more money to cope with the high cost of living crisis, and even encourage, you know, more foreign students to come into the UK. However, despite the fact that some chancellors are in support of this, some universities, some academics warn that too much of working hours is not ideal for students, as it may interrupt their study hours. So in my opinion, if the working hours is increased from 20 hours to 30 hours or removed entirely, I believe students should be able to plan their time, know when to work, when to study. You know, the most important thing is just to balance it up. But believe me, this is a really good news, because there are some international students that are coming to the UK with 4 kids. Hey God. And I'm like, God, how are these people even coping? But 20 hours is just so small. That should be like less than 2 days if you're working 12-hour shifts. It's barely nothing. At the end of the month, I don't even know what it will amount to. So how do they pay bills? How are they able to sustain themselves? And how are they even able to save up for school fees? Gosh, I know the ideal thing is you're supposed to have your full school fees before coming into the UK, but we know these things now. Anyway, you guys, what do you think of this news? Do you think it's a good news? I think it's a good news, and I hope that the ministers will approve, because one thing about the UK is that nobody can just wake up one morning and say something and then it becomes a law and people start applying it. No, it has to go through reviews. Ministers will have to think about it, so many debates before it can be approved, and then people can start applying it. So nobody can just come out and say, I want this to happen, I want that to happen, and then that is it. No. So fingers crossed that it is approved by ministers, fingers crossed that universities won't oppose it, and fingers crossed that braverman will be happy with this, even though I don't think she's going to be happy with this, because like country what she wants to do, to get the point, country and motives. But at the end of the day, like I said, the interest of the UK is what they have at heart, and I really pray that it is approved. Really, it really needs to be approved. Students really need to work more to be able to make money and cater for themselves, because things are too expensive, guys. So people, give this video a massive thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and of course guys, I'm going to see you all in my next one. Bye.